think a lot of people that think about Mardi Gras automatically think of New Orleans. Most people have not heard about the Cajun country Mardi Gras. We have not been completely infiltrated by tourists, and it hasn't become a commercial thing.
The original tradition was a band of guys who lived in the neighborhood. It might have been 10, 20 people doing this, maybe 30, 40 at the most, I would say, back in the 1900s. It's meant to be a small, tight-knit group of friends and family doing it. And so if you're there to participate. That's what we're trying to keep alive. Even if we're 300, 400 people, we want it to still have that participant thing, not just a spectacle.
Get into your costume is pretty much getting into character. Get into that mode of thinking that you're not who society knows you as for this one day. Almost the majority of the people on the run play music, which is pretty amazing. There's a lot of tradition that's involved. There's no other run like that.
First thing in the morning, when everybody arrives, we depart around 9 o'clock, so people start arriving between 7 and 8, something like that. We'll start rounding everybody up and getting them over to usually around the bandstand.
So number one, make sure everybody's got a costume, make sure everybody's got a mask.
Let's go, everybody in the bandwagon, over here.
Our head captain is Lindsay Young. Lindsay's really the image of Mardi Gras. Everyone looks up to him. He pretty much controls the entire Mardi Gras with the wave of a flag.
So Mr. Lindsay's gonna be our captain for today.
Pile up and wait for me to wave this flag. When I wave that flag, y'all hit it like the beaches at Normandy.
Mardi Gras, make sure you come up to the front. We're gonna teach you a song real quick. Donnez quelque chose pour le Mardi Gras. 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 Donnez quelque chose pour le Mardi Gras.
We really want to shock people when they show up, especially the new timers.
If y'all know someone who's brand new, fresh and virgin, pass them to the front. Now come up! Now come out!
Most of y'all are probably not from around here. I'm guessing. Just looking at them ugly costumes. Oh, they think we joking? Get in there, felines! Get him! Get in there! Get down on your knees! Get down on your knees!
We have a lot of out-of-towners that want to participate, but they must first be initiated into our Mardi Gras run, which basically means they have to be educated on how this thing runs. And we ask them to volunteer themselves and come up to the front. We get them, all into a big pile,
On your back!
like a herd of cattle. The ones that are from out of town should totally have a moment where they ask themselves, what the hell am I doing here? Why am I doing this? This is totally a bad idea. A lot of the Mardi Gras is just kind of like surrender. You know what? It can't get any worse than this. And then they arise, they get up off the ground, and they're ready to go. They're ready to run. It's time to run Mardi Gras.
All right, Mardi Gras!
A lot of the Mardi Gras costumes are based on making fun of the authority figures. The capuchon is a replica of what ladies in court would wear. A nobleman's wife would have wore a capuchon, or the bishop's mitre is poking fun of the authority as far as the church goes. I'm the head villain, and the role of the villain is to provide something for the Mardi Gras to rebel against, to have something to fight against, and they can't rebel unless there's an authority, and we're the authority. When you get to that first stop, the Mardi Gras, it's their job to not listen to it. It's their job to try to defy us.
The old song is Capitaine, Capitaine, voyage ton flag. It's when the captain waves his flag, that's when the Mardi Gras charge the house.
And once we're in the yard, there's a whole nother line of events that take place. They should be begging for money or for ingredients. There's going to come a point where the neighbor is going to present the Mardi Gras with a gift. The reason behind the chicken chasing is because we're going around begging for ingredients for the gumbo for the Mardi Gras.
Hey, Mardi Gras!
Once people are kind of rested up a little bit, then there's a 30-foot pole that's greased up really, really nice. And it's axed of the Mardi Gras to release that bird. It's like watching Lord of the Rings. Like it's like a bunch of orcs like jumping on top of each other, completely mindless. I've seen 7-year-olds in this pile, and I've seen 37-year-olds in that pile of people. And this goes on for like sometimes 45 minutes to an hour. That's pretty much our midway. And then after that, we start traveling again, and then we pretty much headed towards the cemetery.
It just so happens Dennis McGee, who's like a saint of Cajun music, is buried down at the end of the road. So we incorporated that as part of the run, stopping over at his gravesite and paying tribute to him.
Dennis McGee is, he's the Robert Johnson of Cajun fiddle. He was recorded by Lomax with Amédée Ardouin. He did a lot for Cajun music, and he's from that area. He was, he lived in that area, and he's buried in that area.
Joel and I typically play one of Dennis's old songs or some old fiddle tune just to kind of be there and soak up his aura for a little while and pay respect to the master. It's community, it's music, it's food, it's dance, it's revelry.
Within its folds lie almost every discipline. That's visual arts, cuisine, performance, theater. It's all theater.
We're trying to distill the essence of the Prairie Cajun Courir de Mardi Gras. We're taking what we know of the history of it, and we're trying to get back to that. We tried to wash away all the stuff that's been kind of piled on over the years as we grew up, and get back to the roots of it.
Let me go home for whiskey. Let me walk out that door. I got a note from my baby, don't you come home drunk anymore. Oh, one scotch, one bourbon, and one beer.